this is Brian with ActiveMelody.com. Well, for this week's lesson, I wanted to create something for everyone, and that's not always easy to do. I realize we're at different skill levels, and so I wanted to create a real bluesy, Chet Atkinsy fingerstyle composition. So we're going to learn that in this video. We're going to learn the first half of that. But I also wanted to have a lead part as well for those of you that are not fingerstyle. Maybe that's not your thing. You play with a flat pick, and you don't want to put that pick away. So I've got something for you as well. So there's a lead part with a lot of takeaways and some pretty cool blues looks that you'll learn from that. So in this video, we're going to focus on the first half of the fingerstyle composition. If you'd like to watch the second half, as well as download the tablature and have access to that bonus lead video, when there's a jam track as well, so you can play along with that. You can get all of that at ActiveMelody.com. Just go to the lessons page and do a search for EP202. That's the lesson number for this lesson. So let's go ahead and get started with Fingerstyle Part 1. Alright, so let me just start off by offering just a little bit of encouragement to let you know that fingerstyle playing can be very intimidating. It can be very frustrating. And just know that it's that way for everybody. Everybody that tries this gets frustrated with it. But it's those that persevere, the ones that just stick with it. It almost takes an insane mindset of just doing it and doing it until. So just remember that. And in fact, if this lesson is too challenging, you might want to check out EP177. That's a fingerstyle blues thing that I did, but the thumb stays on one string at a time, so it's a little bit easier and it's a little slower as well. So check that one out if this is too frustrating. But if you're up for the challenge, you can do this. I'm telling you, everybody can do this. It just takes a little more time for some of us than others, but it's a muscle memory thing, and once it kicks in, it feels really good and it feels very predictable and consistent. So we're going to start this. By the way, this is a new guitar and it's already got all these smudges on it. I just cleaned it yesterday. It's a Martin CEO7. It's a great little guitar. Sounds awesome. It looks cool. The only downside is it's really shiny, so I'm getting all these reflections of lights and windows, and I'm trying to avoid that. So you'll see me pivoting, and that's why I can see myself in a monitor here. But okay, so we start this thing by playing an E chord down in first position, and then I take this part of my hand, this little area right here, and I rest it on the bottom three strings, bottom notes, right there. And that's so that you get a muted effect on the bottom strings while the top three strings can ring out. And that's just a matter of pivoting. Just again, it's this area here for me on my hand. I can find this little spot, and once it connects there, I know that I'm muted on those bottom three. So play around with that and make sure you mute it. You don't want those ringing out, those low notes. It'll get too muddy. Okay, E chord. And then with the right hand, we start with the low 6th string. And then we're going to do strings 4 and 1 at the same time. Thumb and ring finger. So we go, right? You can do that. Now we're back to 6. And then we're going to take the pinky and go on the 3rd fret 1st string and push it a little bit sharp and play that again with the ring finger. That's kind of hard to do. Your pinky doesn't usually have as much callus on it. Well, mine doesn't anyway. But that's what I'm doing there, is this 3rd fret 1st string, pushing it a little sharp. Now after I hit that, I'm going to come back and play the 4th string. So it's kind of a staggered thing. So you got... Now we're going to do 6 and 1 at the same time. Now I'm going to put my pinky down on the 2nd fret, 2nd string, and I'm going to use my middle finger there on that string, and then my thumb on the 4th string, and we're going to do both of those at the same time. So backing up. Now watch this little part. It's very easy with the left hand. All I'm doing is keeping that E chord. I'm just lifting my index finger, and I'm playing a hammer on. I'm hammering it onto the 1st fret 3rd string. Notice when I do that though, I use my thumb on the 6th string at the same time. So we have from the beginning, and then my middle finger grabs the 2nd string, which is the open B string. My thumb is going down on the 4th string at the same time, and then I'm hammering on with my pinky to the 2nd fret 2nd string. So, all together, let me do that slowly. Okay? Now I've got that in tab as well, so if you're a premium member, you have the tab, you can slow it down, you can loop that section, and see that on the screen. So that'll make that a little easier. Okay, now after that, then I went. Let me do that again. And for that, it's just 6, 1 and 4 again. 6. There's the second string. I put my pinky down here on the 2nd fret, 2nd string, played it with my middle finger right here. Then there's the thumb on the 4, and then we're back to 6 and 1, and then the thumb on the 4 again. So you can see the thumb just goes back and forth between 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, and it stays right on the beat. So if you get lost in anything, you can always work it out that way. You always know that that doesn't waver. Now right here I went, just to mix it up, I threw in an A chord there, which would be the 4 chord, to play something in between that kind of that part of the verse. So I just barred the first 4 strings there on the 2nd fret. I played thumb on the 5th string, middle finger on the 2nd string. Then there's the index finger on the 3rd string, thumb on the 4th string. The general rule of thumb, no pun intended, is that the thumb stays on strings, the bottom 3 strings. That's your bass player. It covers those 3 strings. Index finger goes on string 3, middle finger on string 2, ring finger on string 1. That's the general rule. Now sometimes you have to break that, but that's how the fingers line up. That's how they cover the strings. All right, let me back up. There it is. And then we just loop it. That part of it. And now right here is where we switch to the 5 chord. Now look at what's happening with the bass. The bass changes the pattern here. And what I'm doing now, instead of just playing 6, 4, 6, 4, now I'm going to do 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4. So the chord I'm making is just a B7 chord. You'll see that the left hand is like nothing when it comes to fingerstyle. It's all with the right hand. But that's just a B7 chord. I'm going to assume you know how to make that. You can see it there on the screen, or you can look at it in the tab. But we're going to do... we're going to start with our thumb on the 5th string, thumb on the 5th string, then we're going to put thumb on the 4th string, middle finger on the 2nd string. So we have, now watch this, the middle finger comes down and plays the low 6th string there on the 2nd fret. And then after that, index finger plays the 4th string, or sorry, the 3rd string. So let's back up, we have... And then the thumb on the 4th string. This will be the hardest part in the whole thing probably. It's getting that alternate thumb where you're going 5, 4, 6, 4, 5. It's a little weird in the beginning, but I promise it'll kick in. All right, so 5, 2 and 4, 6, 3, 4. Those are the string numbers. And then we're back to 2. And now the thumb is just going to do 5, 4, 6, 4. So that whole little passage goes. And look at that, you can just loop that. Just do it over and over again until you got that little B7 part, the 5 chord. Okay, if we back up from the beginning. Now right here I went, it's a little, I think of it as like a Johnny Cash thing, but it's just a bass note to get us back to the 1 chord. And I'm hitting it with my thumb, and my middle finger comes here to the 2nd fret, 6th string, and I try and bend it as best I can. And then we're right back to the open E string, which puts us right back into the loop. So then we go back and we make an E chord, but then I'm going to put my pinky down on the 2nd fret, 2nd string. So you get this nice E6 chord. It's a great sounding chord. So after we have we go into that chord with the pinky there with the 6, and we play. Look at that, it's just 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4 with the thumb. So let me call them out here. We'll break it down. We got 6, we got 4 and 1, back to 6, then middle finger on 2, 4, 6 and 1, 2 and 4, there's 1, 6, 2, 4. Let me do that just slowly without talking over it. Kind of weird. Some of them are happening at the same time, some of them are staggered. They're happening individually. So it's a combination of... But once you get it going, you don't think of it that way. So it'll be very methodical and scientific in the beginning, and then it'll turn into art, and it won't feel that way. You won't feel constrained by it. Okay, so after I played that, then I went to the A part, and then to this A sharp diminished 7 chord, or B flat diminished 7. So we're going to play the A chord. It's just I'm cramming all 3 fingers here into the 2nd fret, strings 2, 3, and 4, so that I can let the 1 string ring out. Now some of you can do that with your, I've seen people do that with their bar. They can somehow, like double jointed thing, they can let that ring out. I can't do that, so I have to put all 3 fingers in. So thumb on the 5th string. So at this point, the bass part's going to go 5, 4, 6, 4. Even when we go to the diminished chord, 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4. All right, so we have the 5th string, then we have 4 and 1, 6, middle finger on the 2nd string, thumb on the 4th string. So right there we have. And now we're going to switch. We're going to keep our ring finger there on the 2nd fret, but we're going to switch to this diminished chord. This is a great little chord voicing if you don't know it. But middle finger goes down now on the 2nd fret, 4th string. Index finger down on the 1st fret, 5th string. Isn't that a nice sounding chord? It's a nice way to go from an A to an A sharp diminished 7 or B flat diminished 7. It's a real nice transition chord. All right, so the way that I play that diminished chord with the right hand goes. So that's strings 5 and 1, 2. We're going to pinch 3 and 4 at the same time. I say pinch, I'm just plucking them. So we have 5 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then the pinky goes down on the 2nd fret, 1st string to play that note. Thumb down on 6, so that's a staggered. They're not at the same time there. And now we're going to play string 2, and then we're going to play 3 and 4 at the same time again. So all together, that little diminished part goes. Alright, so let me play the A, and then I'll play that A sharp diminish with it. So it sounds like this. Okay, now after that, we're going to play the E. It's actually an E7, back to the B7, and then back to the E. So we're going to go ahead and make the E chord in first position and play 6, 1 and 4 at the same time, back to 6, and then pinky goes down on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. It's just an E7 chord that you're making. And then the thumb on the 4. So let me back up and do that slowly. And now at this point I'm going to switch to the B7 chord. So I've got my left hand in E7 chord here, and I can just keep my middle finger down and pivot so that these other 2 fingers come down right over and make the B7 chord. Now once I make the B7 chord, I'm going to pinch strings 2 and 5 at the same time. So, and then this is, remember, every time we do the B7, the thumb goes 5, 4, 6, 4. So we got 2 and 5, 4, and then I'm plucking the third string, thumb on 6, middle finger on 2. So we have. So just remember, every time we play the B7, the thumb always goes 5, 4, 6, 4. So we're going to play strings 2 and 5 at the same time. Thumb on 4, index finger on 3, thumb on 6. So let me back up and do that. Then we go back to the second string with our middle finger. And then thumb on 4. That's how you conclude that part. So let me play just that B7. Okay, so that's a lot of information. Let me back up and play everything up to this point. Alright, now from here we're going to play. The melody just goes ring, middle, middle, ring. 1, 2, 2, 1. Those are the string numbers. Now I'm going to play with an E. I'm going to make an E chord down here. And the way we're playing this is string 6 and 1. Then my pinky goes down to the 2nd fret, 2nd string. And so I play that with my middle finger. My thumb goes down on the 4th string. So I'm playing both of those at the same time. That's that E6 chord again. Now thumb goes back to 6. Pinky comes off. So we're going to play the 2nd string again without the pinky though. So let me play those 3. We have. And now I'm going to play my thumb on the 4th string, my ring finger on the 1st string. At the same time. All those happened at the same time. And then the thumb just keeps going as those strings ring out. Okay. So that's the whole first half of that. Now the second half I get into this, I think this sounds a little more like Chet. We're going to save that for the next video. It gets a little more challenging, but not over the top. All right, let me back up and we'll play through this whole thing one more time. And just remember, you can set whatever tempo you want. You're in control. When it's a solo composition like this, you are the entire band. That's one of the nice things about doing it. So play it really slow until you get comfortable with it, and then you can make it as fast as you want. Here we go from the beginning.